Hello, 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 world. I am Dina Allen, and I do say welcome to the Body Workshop as we go live on Facebook. I'm excited. I hope you are. And this is the second time that I'm coming live, and I can't tell you how wonderful it has been to see the response that everybody is liking what we're saying and they're telling their friends. And that's exactly what I'm believing is going to happen again today. That you're going to like what I offer so much that you can't wait to tell your friends to listen to. Now, we have a purpose for this. Yep, everything has to have a purpose and a plan. And the purpose is to offer you information so that you can make needed decisions to make some adjustments in your life and make some changes. Yep, some things can be tweaked, but there's other things that absolutely need to be changed. And the goal is learning how to walk in abundant health, meaning you are the one who operates, not owns, but operates from a body that's been paid for with an awesome price, and you are free from illness. But you are also prepared. You're prepared to become victorious over any temporary challenge, be it of body, soul, or spirit, never having to know the diseases that you were healed from, because you learned to play the only game in town, and it's called prevention. Now, in order to be prepared to play the prevention game, you have to know that you have to hire some people to play the game with you. And those people that I want you to hire today, there are 10 of them, and they're called practitioners. They're wellness practitioners. And the first one up, number one wellness practitioner, is Mr. or Miss Stress Release and Emotional Healing. Yeah, I did say that. You've got to find out what are the stressors in your life. You've got to find out who or what is eating at you. Who have you permitted to stay around you or to do each and every day of your life or 2 or 3 times a month that's bringing the kind of stress into your life that causes you to act in ways that you don't desire to act. Yep. Number 2, being sure you have adequate levels of oxygen. Why is that important? Well, you have probably already learned that the brain cannot live very long without oxygen. There's always a debate as to how long, but just know, very short time. You don't want to live without oxygen very long. Plus, do you know that a body that is properly oxygenated will not allow crazy things to live in it? And one of the craziest things that it won't allow is cancer. It won't allow cancer cells to continue to multiply in your body and create havoc. Have you run into a doctor hearing things that you really don't want to hear and acting like you're not well already and struggling to get well, rather than knowing that there's some things that you need to do to stay there? And that's the attitude that we've got to take. So adequate levels of oxygen, for some say we need to bring some in sometime. And so at the Body Workshop, we have brought a brand new tool to our arsenal, and it is called O2, and it is liquid oxygen. If you need more information about that because you want to think better, you want to move better, you want to have less pain, less stiffness in the joints, all kinds of reports are coming in about this liquid oxygen. So if you want to know more, you know the number to call. And if you don't, why don't I give it to you now? And it's 562-427-0424. And if you can't get me on that line, try 951-261-4408. If you don't get me live like I am today, you'll get a recording that's going to tell you something sweet, and you know I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Number 3, how about appropriate sunshine? Yes, I did say sunshine, and I did use the word appropriate. We all need sunshine to activate the D, which is called the sunshine vitamin. And the darker the complexion, now this is going to hit you kind of amazingly, the darker the complexion, the more sunshine you need. But you need it in the right way. You need it, say, between 10 and 3. You need to expose as much of your body as you can to cause those rays to activate that D. But guess what? There's always a ram in the bush. If you can't get out there and get that sunshine to activate the D, we at the Body Workshop offer D3. And there's so many reasons that we offer it until time will not allow me to be in more detail. But know that we have the right kind of D3 for you. You can call that number and order that as well. Number 4, regulated body temperature. Yep, the cells cannot get too hot. The environment in which your cells live in cannot get too hot, nor can it get too cold, because then apoptosis starts, which is cellular death. and we don't want it to be too rapid. We want always to keep those cells at the right temperature so they can make more good ones, not more that are not good. So guess what? A fever, even if it gets a little warm inside, a fever is not always a bad thing. It's one of those messages that's telling us that there's a good possibility that something's in your system that needs to be burned up and burned out. So don't be so upset when you get a little warm inside. Take that temperature and use that advice to know that that body is dealing with the possibility of some inflammation that is sending you a signal asking you for help. Now, the only time a fever becomes kind of dangerous is if you're a baby, which none of them that I'm talking to are, I don't think, and that fever goes up too high. Then we have some other things that we need to be concerned about. But normal days, when you just get a little too warm and you feel that fever going up, and don't say you've got a fever, because we've all got a fever. We've all got a temperature. We better have a temperature or we're in trouble. But what we're looking for is, do we have a fever? And that's when I want to get our attention. Number 5, adequate amounts of the best water. And you know, for me, my choice is the best water is Kangen by Enagic, and it's pH balancing that their body needs. As the body is always searching to find its balance, its percent of hydrogen. And if it's too high or too low, we can have a problem. Yes, we can be over alkaline and we can also be over acidic. But the danger is more readily noticed when the body is over acidic. Because when the body is over acid, it can again invite things into the body that you don't want to invite. And it will also cause things to live there that you don't want to live. And it can also hold fat in place, helping it to get hard and firm and very difficult to release. So there's a lot of reasons for the body to watch its pH balance. And believe me, there are the hormones even that are being produced in your body, and the body can't use them because the body is so acidic. So balance is vitally important, and it can be received. In fact, one of the things that 99.9% of my clients use, in fact 2, is food enzymes to help the body to digest, and of course liquid chlorophyll. And my, the wonders of liquid chlorophyll. I did a study on liquid chlorophyll a few years ago, and the amazing thing that I found out when I learned all of the things that liquid chlorophyll had been reported to have done for people, I found no evidence that it could be done. There was nothing in the chlorophyll that said it's antiseptic. There's nothing in the chlorophyll that says it's antacid. There's nothing in the chlorophyll that says it's anti-inflammatory. Nothing in the chlorophyll that tells you all these wonderful things that it will do. But guess what? It does it all and more. So liquid chlorophyll and food enzymes along with probiotics are in the life of 99.9% of the clients that come to see me as part of their beginning program. Now, how about number 6? Beneficial movements. My good friend Jeanette always cautions and tells me that I always count not enough letters or too many letters for that word. So we're going to count them together. Exercise. E-X-E-R-C-I-S-E. I think we came to 8, and that's called movement. And the great herbalist and iridologist, Dr. Bernard Jensen, says, and I quote, "I would rather see a person exist on a junk food diet and move their body than to eat perfectly and never have any exercise." So that gives you a little idea to tell you that exercise makes everything better. And my favorite in the world is the mini trampoline called a rebounder. One of those tools that you can use even before you exercise, or you can learn to use it in place of any other strenuous thing that you might have to do. And the benefits are astronomical, because one of the first things that the rebounder will do is it will cause the lymphatic system, which is your liquid portion of your circulatory system, to keep moving. And that system is so very important. And the only way that it operates effectively and efficiently is when you're moving your legs. You got to move your legs. That's why the worst thing that a person can do when they're not feeling at 100% is to lay down. Beds are for sick people. Don't say that you're sick. Say that you're well and you're working to stay there. And that doesn't mean that you lay around in a bed. Now, I don't want people to think that if you're not feeling well, that you shouldn't get a little more rest. But don't make the bed your permanent home just because you're not feeling well, because it's going to be longer and longer staying there the longer you stay. Get that body moving and use that rebounder. And how about number 7? nourishing nutrition. Now, I know a lot of us eat, don't we? We do. We eat. And we eat 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 times a day. And most of the things that we're eating are fluff food. We're eating things that are not nourishing the body. So know this. If it's not nourishing to the body, there's a good possibility that it can become toxic to the system. And toxins are what we don't want. And a lot of those toxins come from what we're going to talk about later, and it's called junk food. And we all know exactly what junk food is. When people ask me about getting educated about eating, people know how to eat. They really do. But you know where we can start? We can all start with something that we absolutely know. Now, we may not know the value of having an apple a day keeping the doctor away, but I bet we know that a bag of potato chips is junk food. I bet we know that. So that's a good starting place, is to look at the junk that's in your life and work to start moving that out. Now, number 8 is effective and efficient waste removal from all exits or trash cans. And you're going to hear more about those in just a few moments. Number 9, addition of the best quality supplementation, vitamins, minerals, and herbs plus. You have to use high quality supplementation. I often say about Nature's Sunshine products, you may find a supplement company that will offer a product that may be just as good as Nature's Sunshine, but you are never going to find any better. And proof of that is in how many people go away from Nature's Sunshine, try other things, and come back. Come back home because they know that they can trust what's in the bottle. If it's on the label, in the bottle, Nature's Sunshine will stand behind it. They are a company of unequaled integrity. I can remember many years ago when one of the representatives from the company, I think it was Jean Hughes' sister, and she was giving a presentation on the stage. And she said, our company stands for integrity. She says, and you know what integrity is? Integrity is who you are in the dark. I love that, don't you? Who you are in the dark when you think nobody is looking and nobody is listening. Who are you in the dark? How about number 9? Addition of the best quality supplementation. Oh, I did that right. Number 10, adequate levels of calmness, relaxation, sleep, and rest. And we're going to talk a lot about that today. So the topic for today, it's pretty obvious what it is by now, Getting to Know You Part 2. And our ongoing tool is the Lifestyle Analysis Questionnaire, based on the premise that we have basically 9 systems. Some people teach that there are 12 because they'll take the circulatory system and break it into circulatory and lymphatic, and they'll take the glandular system and may break it into endocrine, exocrine, and they sometimes take the structural system and break it into musculoskeletal, meaning muscular system or skeletal. So either way, it boils down to 9, and that will not change. So keeping in mind that we're going to use it based on the 9 system paradigm, and so those are the systems that we're going to talk about a little more today. Now, being that we are basing it on general, we have to say that all your systems, all 9 of them, have a specific set of organs, and they have a specific assignment that is to be carried out to cause your body to stay always in survival mode. Not always in a health mode, but always in survival mode. I think I reminded some of my listeners a few Sundays ago that your brain is your survival organ. But your mind is the part that Christ gave you, and that's where all of the turmoil and the trouble can brew. So when we're working to get health into the body, it has to be a total project. We have to do our soul work as well as do our body work. Now, keeping this in mind, when all systems carry out their given assignment, the body stays in rhythm, and it stays in what it's always searching for, and that's called homeostasis or balance. But when any system does not carry out its assigned task, the burden is felt by the other systems. And now the body can be tricked into thinking that something's going wrong with one system, and all that system is trying to do is help, and now it's getting in trouble. It's just like 2 legs, right? We got 2 legs, and if something happens with one leg, the burden is going to be on the so-called good leg. And now guess what's going to happen? The so-called good leg is going to get in trouble trying to protect the other one. That's the way your body works. It is so, so protective. it loves you so much. It loves you almost as much as Jesus does. And it wants to be your servant, not your slave. But we got to have more respect for it. We got to start treating it better. We got to start treating it like a friend, not an enemy. Your body never turns against you. All the things that it sends you as calls for help are just that. They're asking you for help. Don't think it's turned against you, because it never will. Now, keep this in mind. The world calls the body's cries for help symptoms. We call it just that, cries for help. Little whispers that go on that we attempt to put to sleep with OTCs, those over-the-counter things that we don't have to get a prescription for. I bet you thought your doctor was trying to help you out when he made all those OTCs, right? So you wouldn't have to go to the doctor so much. Sorry, he's not helping you out. He's making sure he don't get sued if you have a reaction from an OTC. So I always encourage you, don't be so quick to medicate. When the body sends you a cry for help, don't allow it to start shouting. Don't do that. And don't be so quick to medicate. Investigate. Ask your body, what are you trying to tell me? What message are you attempting to send to me? Stop telling the messenger to go to sleep. Stop doing that. You are causing the body to miss valuable information. Just like food is information, so are the cries for help. Information central. Pay attention. Pay attention. Now, those cries for help, if we don't acknowledge them, they will begin to shout so loud that you have to place yourself in front of a guy or a girl, or a lady, I'm sorry, in a white jacket with a stethoscope around his neck that he doesn't really need. But anyway, it looks good, doesn't it? And now they're going to start saying things to you that you don't want to hear. Things that you probably never even thought that you would hear. Well, guess what? For me, I learned a long time ago, laughter does a merry heart good, doesn't it? So if you ever are in a position that you hear some things that you don't want to hear, the first thing you got to do is laugh. Because the first thing that happened is the immune system, your fighter team, begin to crash. So laugh, and guess what it does? It jolts it right back up. And the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you get out of there if he's dead and in death and find you someone that is not. So we're at our buddy workshop, so we're attempting to not have any interruptions. So if somebody comes through, we're just going to ask them to bend down so that they don't get caught on my camera. So bend down, sir. Thank you. More. There you go. And he bent down pretty good, didn't he? Okay. All right. So now, getting to know yourself is what we're attempting to do today. And as we learn about ourselves, we're going to learn better how to take better care of ourselves. Because we're learning how to love ourselves. Can we ever love anyone else if we don't love ourselves? Can we really take good care of someone else if we don't take good care of ourselves? Well, the answer to both of those questions is no. And since you're God's favorite person, each and every one of us, He wants you to take good care of you first. He wants you to love you first. And guess what? For most of us, these are learned processes, especially for women. Oh my gosh. We want to go out and earn the money to buy the bacon. And you know we shouldn't be buying bacon anyway, but we want to go out, earn the money to buy the meat, take it home, cook it, serve it, take care of the homework with the kids, put a load of laundry in the clothes, in the laundry, in the washing machine, make sure the kids' homework is done, make sure that honey is doing okay, and then, if we're married, we want to be a vamp late at night. Well, you know what? Soon, and very soon, we find out that we just cannot be all to everyone. We cannot do all for everyone. And we learned something that Jewel Diamond Taylor shared with me not too very long ago. And she is one of the greatest speakers that I've ever had to share a space with. And she's a motivation speaker. And what she taught us is that no is a complete sentence. Isn't that exciting? No is a complete sentence. So that means that we have the legal authority to be able to say no when it works for us. But again, another learned process. Okay, so now, thinking about the questions that we left off. We finished last time with question number 15. So now we're going to do question number 16 on the lifestyle analysis. And that question says, do you wake up tired in the morning? Do you know so many people wake up in the morning feeling that they did not rest through the night? And the reason that happens is because if you don't rest during the night, guess what? Many systems are affected by your lack of rest. Digestion, intestinal system, the circulatory system, the nervous system, and your urinary system, all affected when the body is not allowed to get the rest that it needs. So how does that work? First, if we don't digest, meaning break the food down to a consistency that the body can move it into the small intestines, we don't get it there in the proper consistency to allow the assimilation process, which is getting the nutrition from the food if it's there. Now, if we don't assimilate, it's very, very difficult for the body to timely, effectively, and efficiently eliminate. And especially, the most important one is that first morning bowel movement. Not eliminating creates havoc with the bloodstream because a lot of debris now is in the bloodstream, and guess what happens? It affects your circulatory system because plaque begins to build up in the walls of the arteries. And now, when the body attempts to push it back out into the blood, there's so much there until the kidneys are having to work so very, very hard. And now, when the kidneys are working very hard, we find that as the urine is being moved to the bladder, it's so much there until the bladder loses the authority and the muscle pull to be able to empty itself completely each time you want to urinate. And guess what all of that's going to do? It's going to make you not feel well because it starts to press on the nerves. And that's how the bladder gets insulted, pushed on, beat up. And I hate to say this because it happens so much to women. All too many women find that they don't want to use public facilities and they hold their urine. But when did all this start anyway? It probably started when we allowed our children to go to school and they put their hand up to say, Miss James, I need to go to the bathroom. And Miss James said, I'm sorry, Tommy, you will wait until recess to go. And guess what? It all started there. Not with just girls, but women, but men too. Holding the bladder too long and holding the stool too long creates major problems. And now, you know what holding the stool will do? The body knocks on that door once, you ignore it. It knocks on it twice, you ignore it. But by the time it knocks the third time, it's really telling you things need to happen. Now, the first two times when it knocked on the door to release some feces, it was mud. But the longer the stool stays in that pouch called a colon, it loses more and more of its moisture. And now, instead of moving mud, you're starting to move dirt. And guess what dirt does? Dirt hurts. Dirt creates hemorrhoids. Dirt creates piles. Dirt creates ongoing constipation. You should go in that bathroom, sit down, take care of it, and get out of there. But that is when you answer that first knock. Same thing with the urine. The first time the bladder feels ready to empty, go and take care of that. What is this thing about being embarrassed to use public restrooms? Why do you think they're there? They're public restrooms to be used by the public. You're the public. Use the facility. Take care of your bladder and your bowel. Don't be so caught up in being embarrassed that you end up causing more problems for yourself. And we generally do. Now, how about learning how to wake up calm? We need to wake up calm in the morning. We need to wake up with that stretch saying, oh, thank God it's morning. And all too many of us wake up saying, oh God, it's morning. You know why? Mostly because they didn't do what they needed to do the night before, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But if you woke up calm, that means that as the day moves on, you're going to become more relaxed. And as the day moves further, you're going to find that the way to relax is to honor a few scriptures, and one of them being 1 Peter 5:7, part of it, which says, casting it all on him. Yep, he's got it. You don't. Why are you even attempting to deal with it? Stay relaxed during the day. Give it up. Anything that comes in your space that you don't agree with, let it go. Let it go. Now, we also need to learn how to be with our partner, that one that desires you and you desire him. And it can't happen if you're all tense and tight all day. And then you start thinking about the many things that you have to do when you get home and not feeling strong enough or loving enough towards you to even ask for help. And then you get upset with him because he doesn't help. How do you know he won't help if you ask him? You got to give it a shot. Ask him and see. The only thing he can say is no. You think that might upset you? Ask anyway and just see. Give it a trial. Give it a shot. Okay. And then maybe, just maybe, if he gives you the help you need when you come home, maybe you can respond to the things and the needs that he has at the end of a day. It can happen. I'm living proof. It can happen. Now, you might need to learn also how to meditate. Yes, I did say it. I said meditate. Look in your word. It's all over the Bible. It's chewing on things, mulling things over. And the best way to do it is using the word. Looking at those promises that you have and thinking about them day and night. Meditate. Learn how to do it. Get online. All you have to do is type in Christian meditation. If you're a Christian, or if you're not, meditation. But it's there, and it answers the needs of all people that learn the value of learning how to take part in that. And now, guess what? Once you learn how to do that, you're going to learn that you're going to just naturally begin to sleep. And the kind of sleep that you're going to have is that kind of sleep like a child. You're going to move from that to resting. Not resting in you, not resting on yourself, not resting in your own strength, but physically, emotionally resting in our Lord. And when you do that, guess what can happen? You approach that REM level sleep, and guess what can begin to happen for you? Bloodless surgery. Calm. Relax. Sleep. Rest equals healing. Can't have the wet, like the apostles many times have said in the service. Can't have the wet without the water. It is a process. One step opens the door for the other. My sister says, and I quote, one moment defines the next. Same with actions. One action prepares you for the next. I have some great quotes from people, don't I? And I'm going to use them all just to share to make my points. Okay? And as long as I give them the credit, I'm not stealing, right? Okay? Now, the body can restore itself. It really, really can. It can restore itself. Many, many years ago, one of the representatives named Scott Terry with Nature Sunshine, we did a lecture in Indiana, I think it was, or Minneapolis. It doesn't matter. We did a lecture. And one of the things that he shared with me, I have carried with me and quoted for years and years and years after. And it was a quote from the great humanist and medical doctor, and his name is Dr. Deepak Chopra. And he wrote many books, but one of them was called Ageless Body, Timeless Mind. And this is the quote that I forever have remembered and shared with so many people. And it says, an estimated 6 trillion reactions are taking place in each of your cells every second. Your stomach, your liver, your heart, your lungs, your brain are being replaced as quickly and endlessly as they're being broken down. Your skin replaces itself once a month. Your stomach lining replaces itself every 5 days. Your liver replaces itself every 6 weeks, and the skeleton, yours, replaces itself every 3 months. To the naked eye, these organs look the same from moment to moment, but they're always in flux. By the end of this year, 98% of the atoms in your body will be exchanged for new ones. Is that exciting? Is that exciting? Everyone in the world should hear that, because this says that you are in charge of a body that can restore itself if we, number one, prepare it to do so. And as I stated earlier, part of that preparation is learning to play prevention, so that if and when you ever need any of this to happen, your body is prepared and ready to do what it needs to do to accomplish what it needs to accomplish. But it's all a plan, isn't it? Everything is a plan. Everything is about steps. And I use the word your each time because I don't want you to think that these things happen to you also. No, they happen to you. They happen for you. But the word says can, isn't it? And what a small little word, 3 letters, C-A-N, almost as major as the word if. Very important words. These things can happen for you. But there's another factor that we look at when we're talking about the potential for restoration in the body and the potential for us to fix things, body, soul, spirit. All of it is contingent on our general practitioners and also some other things. And they are what we think, what we hear, what we read, what we say, who and how we love, what we feel, and how we express each and every one of these elements. Attitude of gratitude for all things. Why? Because if you trust, not just believe, but if you trust, then you must know whatever implodes or impacts in and on your life, it has purpose, it has plan. It's either something that you need to learn, or even more importantly, possibly something you need to learn well enough to teach. Because we're all teacher-learners and learner-teachers. Why can't we garner from these experiences and not do like I did at one point and cry, oh me and why me? What a waste of time. What a waste of effort that was for me. I could have been learning all along instead of moaning and groaning and complaining. And don't think that none of you been there, because you have. You might have been there with me when I was moaning and groaning, and I thank you for it if you were. But the bottom line is it soon was over. And I began to remind myself that what is allowed, I'm being trusted with it. And if it was allowed, it must be something that I could handle. Now, was it going to take time to get through these things? Of course it's time. Things rarely happen in our time frame, but we know that nothing stays the same. The most dependable element in life is change. And all things do change. A wonderful thing. Already done. This too must change. It's not forever. That's why they call yesterday the past. And guess what? When you even think about meditation, you have to think about this. If you know how to worry, you know how to meditate. You're just going to switch up the worry words to the meditating good words, and you got it cinched. So don't think it's difficult. Just switch it. It's just like turning off a light switch, and it can be done. Now, I get so excited sometimes when I'm offering information, because one of my goals in life is to be one of the best information givers there ever was. I don't know everything. Who does? The minute I start thinking I know too much, my information line is going to be cut off. So I don't ever want anybody to get the impression that I'm an expert at anything, that I know everything about anything. But you know what? I take pride in the fact I'm never going to bluff you. And guess what? This means that if I don't know it, guess what? I will find it out, because somebody does know. And I'm one that can dig. Believe me, I can get an answer for you. So now, keep this in mind. We're going to go to the end of this as quickly as we can, because we don't want to stay more than 30 minutes, because I know that people have other things to do rather than spend time with me. What a thought, that you have something better to do, huh? But I think you do. So keep this in mind. All parts of the body work together. All parts of the body. That's why it's so dangerous to think that one part of the body can have so many cancer cells that it deserves to be cut off, and that that's going to cure the problem. I wish it were true. But if you have it in your breast didn't bother you. Your breast just told you what we need to pay attention to. So know that cancer is a full body diagnosis, and you have to work with your full body to deal with it, or you run the risk of hearing words like, it has come back. No such animal. It never completely left. So keep that in mind. All parts work together. And since the body hears and responds to your every thought and word, the environment in which your cells live and multiply, known as your cellular soup or terrain, are also being created as I speak, second by second. And again, each cell knowing the assignment that it has, knowing exactly what it needs to do, and prepared by you, prayerfully, to create 2 more. So know this, part of that preparation again for getting good sleep, no food, no drink, 3 hours before bedtime. That's the first thing that I want you to concentrate. Put water at your bedside because you're going to drink it the first thing in the morning. But if you wake up with an unnatural thirst during the night, don't gulp that water. Take a sip if you need to, but even better, take a sip, wash it around your mouth, and spit it out if you can. And you'll find that it's easy to go back to bed. Because when you start gulping that water, your body thinks you're ready to wake up and digest some food. So you're sending a message that your body's not ready to get. Nothing electric at your bedroom, in your bedroom. And you know what? I think what I'm going to need to do is do something here that I really don't want to do because I'm looking at my time. And since I don't want to keep you more than 30, we're at the 30 mark now. Are we at 30? Okay, then, you know what? I'm going to have to leave you hanging like those chads that we've heard about through the years. Okay? I'm going to leave you a hanging chad. And when I come back to you on the 3rd Saturday of this month, when we go live again on Facebook, we're going to talk more about how you can get that valuable rest that you want. But I gave you a couple of tips that you can put in place even tonight to start the process, okay? So I'm going to flip over here and I'm going to go to my close. And part of my close is telling you that I'm inviting you, each and every one of you, not only to come back next on the 3rd Saturday, but I'm also inviting you to join me every Sunday evening, every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. when I do Bet You Didn't Know That. And what that is, it's a body, soul, spirit ministry. And what we're going to be talking about this Sunday is part 2 of learning to love you. Yep, I keep talking about love, don't I? Because it is so, so important. So we're going to be talking about learning how to love you. And I'm inviting you all. All you have to do is dial 1-515-604-9000. And the access code 828529. Last time, believe me, I got so excited I drew a complete blank. I couldn't even think of the number, but I got it tonight. So I'm going to repeat it one more time. It is 1-515-604-9000. The access code again, 828529. Now I also do another inspiration message too, but I'm not prepared with that phone number, so I'll give you that one next week. On the third Wednesday. What am I talking about Wednesday? On the 3rd Saturday, okay? So, I'm excited. I hope you are. I'm believing that I gave you some good information to share with your friends today, and I'm believing that I will continue to do exactly that every 1st and 3rd Saturday. Thank you for joining me in my live body workshop audience. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for tuning in, staying with me, and sharing it with your friends. Bye-bye. See you next time.